Long before the white sails touched West African waters, before maps had names, there stood a mighty kingdom called Ilumora. It lay between thick forests and red earth plains, guarded by the river Ace that curved around it like a mother's arm. Its walls were high, its warriors unmatched, and its king, Oba Adeyinka, the Lion of Dawn, was feared across the land. Ilumora had never lost a war. The Oba's most prized possession was not gold, not slaves, not land. It was a spear, a long bronze spear said to be forged under lightning. They called it Orunmi, heaven's judgment. And for 30 years, it was true. To the north, beyond dry grasslands, was another kingdom, Zungaru. Where Ilumora was forest and drums, Zungaru was dust and iron. Its ruler, Emir Kaltu ibn Rahman, had watched Ilumora's power grow. Traders whispered of its wealth, of its sacred spear, of its unbroken victories. Kaltu was not a patient man. He sent spies, he sent traders, he sent assassins. All failed. Until one dry season, a whisper returned to him. Legend said whoever carried Orunmi into battle would never be defeated. The spear does not protect the king. It protects the one chosen by the gods. Kaltu smiled. Gods could be manipulated, men could be bribed, and kingdoms could fall. Oba Adeyinka had only one child, Princess Aderonki. She was not raised like other princesses. While palace maids learned weaving, she learned strategy. While girls sang, she trained with warriors at dawn. Her father used to say, "If I had 10 sons, none would be your equal." One evening, as Harmattan wines blew dust across the palace courtyard, Aderonki overheard something that made her blood run cold. 2 chiefs were arguing in hushed tones. "The gods have not spoken in 3 moons. The spear glows no more. If the Oba carries it into battle now, silence. Then he will die." Aderonki's heart pounded, because Zungaru had already declared war. The next morning, the kingdom's high priestess was summoned. Old, blind, feared. She held the spear in her wrinkled hands and whispered into the wind. Then she spoke. "The spear has chosen another." The courtyard went silent. Oba Adeyinka's jaw tightened. "Who?" he demanded. The priestess turned her milky eyes toward the princess. Gasps filled the air. "A woman cannot lead Ilumora to war," one chief shouted. "The gods have lost their minds," another said. But the priestess struck her staff on the ground. "The spear obeys no man." Aderonki stepped forward. She didn't smile. She didn't tremble. She simply said, "Then give it to me." Word spread like wildfire. Some warriors swore loyalty to the princess. Others whispered rebellion, and among them, Chief Balogan Duro, trusted advisor to the king. Secretly, he had been meeting Zungaru's envoys. Gold had changed hands. Promises had been made. On the eve of battle, as drums echoed across Ilumora, Duro opened the northern gate. Zungaru soldiers slipped in like shadows. Swords flashed. Fire swallowed homes. Screams tore the night apart. The war had begun before sunrise. Oba Adeyinka refused to hide. He rode into the chaos with sword raised. Even without the spear, he fought like thunder. 3 men fell with every swing, but betrayal is stronger than bravery. An arrow struck his shoulder. Another pierced his side. And then, Chief Duro stepped forward, face to face with his king. "I did this for Ilumora," Duro lied. Adeyinka spat blood. "You did this for yourself." Duro drove his blade into the Oba's chest. The Lion of Dawn fell. At the palace, Aderonki felt it, a sharp heat in her palms. Orunmi began to glow. The sky darkened unnaturally. Thunder rolled across clear air. She mounted her horse, armor strapped, eyes blazing. If Ilumora would fall, it would not fall quietly. She rode into the battlefield, and when the enemy saw her, a woman holding the sacred spear, they laughed until lightning struck. The spear burned bright gold. Every time Aderonki thrust it forward, soldiers were thrown back as if hit by invisible force. Her warriors rallied behind her. "Ilumora!" they screamed. She moved like storm wind, fast, precise, merciless. Emir Kaltu watched from a hill. Fear crawled into his chest. "This is witchcraft," he whispered. But it was not witchcraft, it was destiny. When Adoranki found Chief Duro, he froze. "You were a child," he said. She answered, calm and cold, "I am my father's daughter." Their duel was brutal. Duro was stronger, but she was faster. He struck her shoulder. She stumbled. He laughed until Oranmi pierced his armor. The spear did not merely wound, it burned. Duro screamed as lightning tore through him. He fell where he had betrayed. Seeing his forces crumble, Emir Kaltu rode forward. "If I kill her, the spell breaks," he muttered. He charged. Their weapons clashed. His sword met the bronze spear with sparks. He was skilled, ruthless, experienced. But he had underestimated grief. Adoranki fought not for glory, but for her father's blood soaking the earth. Kaltu aimed for her heart. She twisted and drove Oranmi straight through his chest. Thunder exploded across the sky. Rain poured suddenly from nowhere. Zungaru soldiers dropped their weapons. The war was over. Victory did not feel sweet. Ilumora burned. Bodies lay scattered. The Oba was dead. Adoranki knelt beside her father's body in the rain. She did not cry in public, but the gods heard her silent grief. The chiefs bowed, not because she was chosen, but because she had proven herself. She was crowned Queen Adoranki of Ilumora, daughter of thunder. Under her reign, the kingdom rebuilt. Stronger walls, smarter alliances, no more blind trust. The spear Oranmi was placed inside the sacred shrine, and it never glowed again, because it had fulfilled its purpose. Centuries later, elders still tell the story of the king who trusted too easily, of the chief who betrayed for gold, of the emir who underestimated a woman, and of the princess who became lightning. They say on nights when thunder cracks across the sky, if you listen carefully, you can still hear war drums from Ilumora, and a woman's voice shouting into the storm, "Ilumora will never fall."